What is happening, Dolphins fans? Welcome to another episode of the Fins Tailgate with your host, El Capitan. Tonight, the tailgate party that never seems to stop. I have my co-host with me here to my, on-screen right, actual left, Shake Money in the
Thank you
building,
very
making his triumphant return to the gate after having an extravagant Vegas vacation, right? He did the whole Vegas vacation. So he'll talk plenty about that when we get back from the intro and stuff. But we're gonna also get into the practice squad. Shake. Some guys got put on this team. Some guys got cut on this team, and fans are upset. Chris Grier spoke today, and it made fans upset even more. We're going to get into that. We're going to play Chris Grier speaking to the media after 53-man roster cuts. And Dolphins signed some guys and stuff like that. So lots to talk about. Hit the like button on the way in. Subscribe if you're new. If you're watching on Twitch, X, some other platform, or listening on the podcasts, make sure you guys are going to TFTGnetwork.com, finding all the ways in which to follow us, and coming over to YouTube and subscribing over here on YouTube and getting involved in the community. So with that being said, let's get right into it.
Turner Yell makes the stop in the secondary for Denver. 1st and 10. The fake. Good block in there, and down it goes. Caught at the 30. This is the dynamic Hill. He's in for 6. Tyreek Hill. Touchdown. What a block.
Take into your hands a plan. Your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be f***ing sour. Take a cold shower. Scream until you're louder. Work until you're prouder. And f*** all the doubters, they're just your downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off, it's these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve it now. It's only worth it if you work for it.
Yes, again, welcome to the Fins Tailgate with your host, El Capitan, and my co-host, Shake Money. Hit the like button on the way in. Make sure you guys are sharing the video, subscribing over here on YouTube, and, leave some comments at the end of the video. During the live chat, we can't get to everything, but leaving comments at the end of the video, we read all of them. We reply to a lot of them. It's definitely a way in which it's easier to identify and recognize as more and more people get on. So shout out to Lewis in chat. Blessings, Dolphin Nation. Hit the like button. Smash it. AP Ryan, what's good with the homie? Member in the crib. What's going on? Marino's GOAT. Brian's Brains, everybody here on YouTube. I don't know who that guy is. Who is that? Shake. Oh, that's
your stalker.
That's my stalker. That's right. That's my it's Michael K in the chat. Most up in this beast. What's up, Most? Bishop. Hit the like button, everybody. So Shake.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back.
Oh, thank you, man. I was back. Actually, my first official episode was Insomnia with my brother from Another Mother Crypto.
That's right.
And
I know.
Tonk made an appearance.
I know. I seen, and that episode is now on the podcast. So great introductory episode to those that are listening to us in the podcast world for the first time and haven't been over here with us the past couple of years in YouTube doing this stuff. But I know. But this is your triumphantly sitting with Capitan and shit. Today was going to be a drive time you were going to do, and that'll be that smoke lounge. Excuse me, that's right. Drive time's on Fridays. But I asked you to push it back, and we would do this thing together, just to get it back cooking. You know what I'm saying? So
I have my I will be debuting my new outfit for the Smoke Lounge next Wednesday. I gotta.
Oh, look at this! Perfect. Then that we pushed the Smoke Lounge because you already told me about the outfit. So that's great. That's awesome. Dope. Cool. Look at that. It's gonna be a banger. And that's the official heading into week 1, week. Like, this is gonna get
preview.
And it's intense, bro. Intense. And you also are gonna do a little bit of around the NFL, some other stuff. Like Shake's got stuff cooking. I don't want to spoil it because you got a lot of good stuff coming up.
But coming up, Insomnia. Yeah, we're gonna be talking. We're gonna do the pecking order for the AFC East, and then we're gonna break down storylines.
Yes, for week 1 matchups throughout the NFL. So essentially, the way I understand it is, like, you're gonna take a matchup. We'll just use the Dolphins and Jaguars as the example. You'll give like a preview take, like what's the storyline going into the game. And if I were to give mine right now, I would say, well, if you're a Dolphins fan, the storyline is Tua Tagovailoa gets paid. Miami Dolphins have offensive line concerns, but Chris Grier and Tua says, don't worry. Is Tua worth the money? Is he going to come out? Is he going to high fly? Can this team hit their apex and stay up and la 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 la? And then on the flip side, it would be Trevor Lawrence comes back. He's 100% healthy. He gets the extension. He's got a lot to prove. This team made off-season additions. They paid Josh Allen, the pass rusher. They've done things. This team looks poised to take a big leap with Doug Peterson at the helm after stabilizing. And then so there's like the take right there. My storyline's heading into the game. And then so if I had to make a prediction, then I would give what's my storyline at the end of the game. So I'll do that and an example for you here.
Mm-hmm.
Dolphins win at home against Jacksonville in a barn burner, where both defenses, both offenses, it was back and forth, crazy plays made all the way around. And it's got both, even though the Jags lost, it was a narrow loss, and it was I hate to say like a moral victory, but like the Dolphins are a better team. If they beat you, it's not the worst, but you stayed competitive with one of the best offenses in the NFL, right? And that's how that can be their takeaway too. Like, and people who watch the game and definitely of both fan bases are like, football's back, baby. You know what I'm saying? It's on. They're gonna pop. That's what I think. But the Dolphins beat them in an absolute showdown.
Yeah, man. I could see it. Look, at the end of the day, with I think my storyline is it's a Sunshine State rivalry, number one.
Yeah, who's king?
You know what I mean? That's the big storyline. It's a Sunshine State rivalry, and for your old school cats, it's Miami Dolphins versus the quarterback who helped Don Shula get his break the winning record.
It's true.
Yeah. So there's a lot of ties there with Miami, at least. And of course, we all know that Jackson Jaguars got the best Josh Allen in the NFL.
That's true. Do you see that interception that was Josh Allen's fault video that was on? I might pull that up because this was crazy, bro. You're gonna get a kick out of this one. Because there's another thing that a lot of people are talking about today. There's a list that came out of, I forget, ESPN took a poll from players that said the most overrated quarterbacks in the NFL. Josh Allen won with 11 votes. Tua came in second with 10, tied with Jalen Hurts. And then another platform media outlet did a poll of the most underrated quarterbacks, and Tua was on that list, tied in second with a bunch of guys, or tied in third with a bunch of guys. There was like a 5-way tie at third with the amount of votes. So how could Tua end up on the most overrated and the most underrated lists in top 3? It's crazy to think about. Like, you want to talk about a polarizing character in the NFL. you're the most overrated and underrated guy, top 3 in both of those categories. What the fuck? That's crazy.
Yeah, either they love you or they hate you. There's no in between.
Pretty much. There's no in between. They love you because you've proven them wrong up to this point, and those that hate you are like, just wait until the bottom drops out, pretty much, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones that hate too are waiting to go. See, I knew it all along. It took a little longer than I expected, but this guy was never going to be it. Meanwhile, the two lovers get to say, well, he's just got paid. He just was this. He just was that. And he's getting better every year. And he's continuing to prove them right by giving them enough ammunition to fight against the two haters. Right? Like if we're breaking this down a little bit. We got a little off topic here, but let's delve into it.
Yeah, I understand. But one thing I want to point out, though, I find especially with the two haters, right? When you give them an example of, oh, he can't throw deep. You give him an example. Well, he doesn't do it consistently. Whatever you say, whatever he says, the hater says he can't do, and you give him a good example, then they say, well, he can't do it consistently. I'm like,
I know, right? It's like,
I'm like, okay. You just said he couldn't do it, period.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
But then, yeah, whatever, man.
It's
and vice versa too. And vice versa. Oh, he never throws 2 interceptions in a row. Well, he did this game. Oh, he doesn't do it 3 games.
That was that wasn't or that second interception was not his fault. That's what it'll come. Like there's always context to prove somebody right or someone else wrong. And everybody needs to shut up is what they need to do.
Yeah, either way, it's like when you listen to I'm in the middle, right? When you listen to the haters, it makes you want to defend them. And then when you listen to the fucking
crazies,
it makes you want to hate them. So
yeah, you're like, bro, you've gone too far. It's just like this in society and politics and everything. All right, you're saying some good stuff, but what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. We won't get too deep. Yeah. But, fuck it, I guess, right?
So let's talk about the Chris Grier press conference. How about that?
Well, let's delve a little bit into it because Dolphin fans were tripping. Dolphin fans were tripping and have been tripping about this interior offensive line, and dude, the woes of it, and I feel it too, right? Like we're exhausted as a fan base, as people who watch the game intently, who like watch 22 film. You know what I'm saying? You want to see what's really going on and delve in 3 and 4 layers deeper. Watch other people break it down yourself. I mean, to the point, the way we do it around here, it consumes a lot of our everything. It's exhausting for it to always be the offensive line. It's emotionally have drained this football team. And there was some people who were pretty high on Jack Driscoll, and he got cut.
Yeah.
And I mean, listen, he's the bottom guy on my roster, and I always said if there was somebody they looked to add somewhere else, Jack Driscoll is one of the first names they're going to look at. But dude, it broke some Dolphin fans because they're just so worried about this O-line, and rightfully so, right? Like, this was not the O-line. This was the O-line I thought they were always going to start at the end of last year. But everything they said, told, and did showed that they weren't going to start it this way. It was going to be Brewer. It was going to be Eichenberg at right guard. And we're going to have a 3-way competition for left guard. And hopefully, with some luck, Isaiah Wynn will come back and we'll be a pretty formidable O-line. And that's just not been the reality of the situation. And Dolphin fans, when they heard Chris Grier say, and it came across the waiver wire with all the beat reporters that Jack Driscoll got deuces, they were not happy, bro. They were not happy. They were broken. A lot of Dolphin fans were beat up pretty bad by it.
What up, Brian Brains? Hey, check this out. So, but here's the thing. Here's the thing I'm learning more and more. is the fact that preseason is for us content creators to see who makes the 53 roster. I don't think, and if you look at data over and over, right, from previous preseasons, they already made their determination on who's staying and who's not. I don't think they judge off a preseason game who stays and who goes. I think it's strictly based off practices and training camp. I think maybe some fringe guys here and there, but there's some guys. Yeah, you do a good, you do 2 or 3 good plays against third stringers, but during practice you look like shit. You know what I'm saying? Or you're not showing up on time. You're not doing the work you're supposed to do.
Or even all things being equal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like say Jack Driscoll is a better left guard than Liam Eichenberg, but he's an equal right guard as Liam Eichenberg. But he is a lesser than center than Eichenberg. All things being, it kind of offsets slightly. They would just go with Eichenberg. Like there's the lateral movements have to have deductive reasoning when we're realizing who's making this roster and who hasn't. And the guy that they signed, I think hold on, let me just make sure that this is the right. You know what? Let's play this Chris Grier interview because he talked about who they signed. It was a wide receiver. And look, I had them carrying 9 offensive linemen, not 10. And they have
9 now.
Now they have 9, and I certainly didn't have them carrying only 4 wide receivers. So, you know what I'm saying? Like thinking, if we look at it in a logical sense, in no realm of the world were the Dolphins going to only have 4 wide receivers, and and after all these cuts, they went ahead and found someone they wanted, added that wide receiver, and the lowest man, the 53rd man that made the roster of the Dolphins was Jack Driscoll, and he got cut, and that's what happened. He was the first cut on that. Let's pull up this Chris Grier thing. Before we do, everybody hit the like button. I want to catch up everybody in chat. I see Crypto made it in here. Sal, our guy Scrappy. What's up, Scrappy? Salute, homie. Who else did I see? Bishop's in here. What's going on, Bishop? Jess. Hello, Jess. Hit the like button, everybody. Let's get those likes up. I think I got everybody. Oh, Cap for life. What's good, Cap? Hit the like button. Anyhow, let's go ahead and dissect this just a little bit, Shake, because Chris Grier addresses it, and I posted this on a short that again 2 years in a row. What's up, my cousin Vinny? Asking us to hit the like button. Please hit the like button.
My cousin Kenny. What's going on, Kenny? Jess, what's up, Jess?
All right, so he basically doubles down back-to-back years that y'all are the ones worried about this O-line. We not. Bit of a flex, honestly. And Chris Grier flexing on Dolphin fans and Dolphins media.
To add a quality starter at either spot, be trade market, be waiver wire, and if not, confidence in both of those positions.
Yeah, so it's always interesting because Mike and I were talking about this the other day that with the offensive line, how every year that's you guys are like, oh, not good enough, but then offensively we're a pretty good offense the last 2 years, and a number of you guys have talked about how the guys have improved. Those guys on the offensive line have worked their tails off.
Ooh, did you hear that, Shake? Real quick, did he just dunk on them?
Yeah.
Did he just kind of dunk on some fools real quick? And
Yeah,
I know that Dolphin fans are in they feels, right?
particularly in the media. I'm all for it.
Well, they definitely dunking on the media, right? But certainly on these woe is me crybaby fans in this fan base. That's the thing too, right? We've got plenty of that going on. And I get it, right? I'm an optimistic pessimistic, right? I don't let myself get so emotionally attached that it could hurt me the way these people do. But I'm not so low on something because of a cut Jack Driscoll, right? Like, what are we talking? First of all, apparently Liam Eichenberg is him. They feel so good about Liam Eichenberg that they love him at center, at guard. They love him. They feel comfortable. They feel comfortable with the UDFA out of UTEP, Andrew Meyer, backing him up at center week 1. And what do you guys know? Chris Grier basically said that. This offense has been good. Listen to it again, Jake.
Confidence in both of those positions.
Yeah, so it's always interesting because Mike and I were talking about this the other day that with the offensive line, how every year that's, you guys are like, oh, we're not good enough. But then offensively, we're a pretty good offense the last 2 years. And a number of you guys have talked about how the guys have improved. Those guys on the offensive line have worked their tails off. We feel confident in them. The coaching staff believes in them. And Butch and Mike and Frank have done a great job, and Lem in helping those guys develop and work. And so I think the important thing is they all work together. It's a really cohesive unit, and just watching them work together is great every day. They hang out together, so it's a very close-knit unit. That said, yeah, we'll have someone in the practice squad like we always do. And just for your information, we released Jack Driscoll recently because we claimed Grant Dubose, wide receiver, and so that was the roster move for him.
All right.
Jack's a good kid.
Hold it there.
And check this out.
Ali, welcome, Ali.
What's up, Ali? But
What's up, gentlemen?
You know what that scene reminds me of?
What's that?
Remember, you watched the movie Friday where he goes, you don't want to be a dog catcher? That's fine, but, the rent is due on the 1st of the month, so you don't have to worry about catching dog. You got to worry about dog catching your ass. That's pretty much what it is with Chris Grier.
Yeah, he gave him the old do-si-do, the flipperooey on him.
Yeah, so it's his ass on the line. So
he basically puffed his chest
line
out and said, "Don't worry, I got this bitch. Y'all the one worrying all the time. These guys are good. They're close knit. Butch Berry likes it. Our offensive coordinator, our head coach, me, we feel comfortable about these guys. It's y'all that got ants in your pants, for lack of a better term. What's up, Ali? What do you think?
I kind of do agree with that assessment that he is saying it's all you guys that are all worried. We're not worried at all. I honestly did not expect Jack Driscoll to make this roster after watching him during the preseason, to be honest. So
I thought he did okay, right? But
bro, he got famous on Twitter with that steamroll. All right, he got steamrolled.
But Vita Vee's doing that to a lot of people, and I get it, right? But again, did anything wow you about him either? Did he pop off the tape or
no? He didn't. No. He didn't do anything that really excited me. Like McMorris excited me. You know what I mean? So that's why I thought he'd make it. Storm Duck did things that flashed that excited me, so that's why I thought he'd make it, and both those guys made it. But I didn't think Jack Driscoll would make it really after watching him, because it was just kind of bland. It was not. There was no flashing like, oh my God, that guy has done something none of these guys have done. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I think he does. I think Chris Grier is also saying this because he has a plan, and he's just not the type of person to tell his business out to the world like that. You know what I mean? We'll just see what it happens. That's basically what it comes down to.
Yeah, you know what I'm thinking too. Did what he's just said there kind of tip his hat to why Jack Driscoll isn't in the room? He talked about the O-line and how good they are and how close-knit they are, and then here's Jack Driscoll getting on the outs.
Mhm.
And Shake, we got somebody else cruising in here.
Yeah, he was.
Tonk 7. What up, Tonk?
Yeah,
What up?
man.
What up?
Just
like to
doing,
see.
What's up,
Hey,
Tonk?
man,
doing the damn thing.
What's up?
I love the fact that you're making more rounds this time around.
I like it too, bro. I like it too. Tonk just showing up in the hood.
People out here know me because they'll do multiple people out here said I'm always off in the cut.
Everybody know I be off in the cut, bitch. All right, always, dog, lurking. So yeah, we're just breaking down some shit. We're listening to our GM talk about our 53-man roster cut and the team we got, and now that we put together our practice squad, and he's basically telling the fans, Tonk, that y'all be ones worried about the O-line. We ain't worried about nothing up in this bitch, and y'all be pussies. Basically, you want to hear him say it?
Damn, because I mean, you're
Tell
the one
me-
who
tell-
called them out.
Well,
on these
if we're a
offensive
bunch of
lines.
pussies, then you know what? Fine. This pussy is really damn worried because his offensive line has no dick.
Oh, that's
Well,
Ali. Oh, okay.
listen.
Ali, fucking. Did Ali just admit that his pussy hurt? That's all I heard. That's it.
Hey, about this offensive line, I'm being serious, bro. I mean, look.
Damn.
Every year we have this same concern, right? We have the same
Right.
exact damn concern. I have. If you go back and look at my Twitter history, as most people like to go and snapshot things I've said in the past, I have yelled and screamed and cried and begged for an offensive line. And we finally did do something, but we did it in a position that was not necessarily the need. We did it in tackle, not
where
guard.
do you think we
And-
needed the most? Where do you think we needed the most upgrade in the offensive
Oh,
line?
bro, we
Like,
needed it anywhere
Guard.
in the interior. Guard or center, bro.
guard and
would be
center
great.
right now. I mean,
And you can
And
pick.
does the
You can
guard
pick
stand right
left
next
guard,
to the center?
Yes, but there's a right guard, a left guard, and a center. Give us any of them.
mhm.
Been great.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Go get Marquise Pouncey.
He's that dude. He's like he's like 150 pounds now,
yeah, I was about to say that guy lost so much weight.
bro. The Pouncey brothers look. They don't even look like the same dudes.
Are
no
they
more.
still on the Steelers?
No, bro. They ain't played in fucking 6
Yeah,
years.
they're gone.
They've
But
been
they
gone.
got,
What did you think about? What was the
Hold
issue
on.
with Klopp? Is that guy just not worth it? Like he's not worth a damn.
Clap?
Clap, yeah, Clap. I'm sorry.
The guy that has the clap? No, we
Yeah,
don't
the
want
clap.
that in Florida. We
I don't
need
know if
that
he
in
has Clap. I'm not gonna put that out there, bro. I mean,
His last name's
I don't know.
Clap.
I get it, but the guy looked big, bro.
So what? Every fucking motherfucker's big. as
So
a
what is the
O-lineman.
coach saying? But hold on, I want to hear the coach address.
All right.
people-
We're gonna play it. We're gonna rewind it. Hear what he said.
Have in recent days, or are there any ongoing attempts to add a quality starter at either spot? Be trade market, be waiver wire, and if not, using confidence in both of those positions.
Yeah, so it's always interesting because Mike and I were talking about this the other day that with the offensive line, how every year that's you guys are like, oh, we're not good enough, but then offensively we're a pretty good offense the last 2 years, and a number of you guys have talked about how the guys have improved. Those guys on the offensive line have worked their tails off. We feel confident in them. The coaching staff believes in them, and Butch and Mike and Frank have done a great job, and Lem in helping those guys develop and work. And so I think the important thing is they all work together. It's a really cohesive unit. And just
So you heard what he said there, though, Tom, right? He basically said, look, y'all were worried about an O-line last year. You're worried about it again this year. Last I checked, our offense was pretty damn good. So I don't know what y'all worried about. Basically, right?
Yeah.
All right. We all on the same page. All right. Now he's going to tell everybody, speaking of O-lineman, we just cut one of them. That's what he says. It basically goes, everybody's worried about the O-line. Don't be worried about the goddamn O-line. Let me worry about the O-line.
Oh,
This is our GM.
The GM, Chris Grier.
Yeah. You don't worry about the O-line. I worry about the O-line. Bitch, you worried about it last year. Last I checked, offense was good last year. Best quarterback around. What y'all talking about, O-line? Then, watch.
every year that's, you guys are like, oh, we're not good enough. But then offensively, we're pretty good offense the last 2 years. And
Ooh, heard what he said? They're not good enough. They're not good enough. But offensively, we're pretty good offense the last 2 years. Damn, he just cooked. Chris Grier's cooking. He came out guns a-blazing.
About how the guys have improved. Those guys on the offensive line have worked their tails off. We feel confident in them. The coaching staff believes in them, and Butch and Mike and Frank have done a great job, and Lem in helping those guys develop and work. And so I think the important thing is they all work together. It's a really cohesive unit, and just watching them work together is great every day. They hang out together, so it's a very close-knit unit. That said, we'll have someone in the practice squad like we always do. And just for your information, we were
look. He goes, just for your information. Speaking of O-line, bitch. Basically, I mean, listen.
They go to Chuck E. Cheese together.
Chris Grier just put all these casuals in their places, what just happened. All these crying ass people worried about O-line.
Hold on a second. You were one of those people 2 episodes ago.
Bro, you're over exaggerating. The way these people get, you have no idea.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
Okay, but I'm saying no. You just did it. You just did a long segment.
Actually, Tonk has something to stand on because we just did that last night.
You did a whole long.
We did it last night.
Offensive
you know
line,
what?
Dude.
I'm telling you, we did it last
2
night.
episodes ago. I don't want to hear nothing from you.
Tonk,
the only reason.
I'm agreeing with you.
The only. All right, that's fine, Ali. But the only reason I even know that the Dolphins. That people even think the Dolphins' offensive line is bad is because of Cap doing a segment. That's the only reason I know.
I'm just listen. First of all, you must be confused. Tom, that I was basically reporting on how these casuals be acting because listen to Chris Grier. He just straight flexed on their asses, dog. That's kind of how it went down. So, and I've been trying to tell people from Jump Street that we should have drafted young guys to come behind the 3 dudes we starting out with. Now, Dolphin fans, they be tripping, right? They be tripping. And to me, Chris Grier's flexing on these hoes and educating these casuals out here that obviously don't know what they're talking about. And Chris Grier basically said so. He's like, me and the coaching staff and El Capitan, we got this bitch locked in.
Yeah, but you're not a casual, okay? And you were using information that was because you're watching the preseason games and you were scoping out a whole bunch of shit. So
that's true.
Him talking is not he's not addressing people. I don't think enough. I don't think he's
by the way,
people enough. He's just addressing. Like you could type in fucking Twitter what he said and it would cover so much of what is said on Twitter. He didn't address anything specifically about players or positions or
he gets ready. He gets ready to here, and he gets ready to flex on him one last time. What's up, Mr. Polk? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, before you go, Mr. Polk, I just want to give a shout out to Tonk. He's all about the environment, giving El Capitan those paperless receipts, baby.
Yeah, I don't know. Listen. All about the environment, giving them paperless receipts is a fucking. I just gotta say, hold on, I gotta get everybody on screen. Shake, that is a fucking amazingly well-crafted joke by you, dude. That is amazingly. That's an amazingly well-crafted joke because. All right, go ahead. Yeah, that was pretty good, dude. That was pretty good. But that's Cap. That's Cap.
That's Cap. Yeah, El Cap.
No. Anyhow, let's
we had it's like 2 or 3 episodes ago. All right, yes. Let Chris Grier talk.
Pull up the receipts, dog.
He can't. He went paperless.
No, 2 episodes ago. Ask HB on his freaking Apple
in chat. Podcast. In chat right now, is talking out of his ass, or is he pulling up the receipts and you guys co-sign that? Put Tonk co-sign or
2 episodes ago.
Ass.
Actually, to be fair, El Cap, I don't think I've ever heard Tonk come at you like this before. I think Tonk should do it more often.
Tonk be going at me all the fucking time. Son of a bitch. Anyhow, let's listen to Chris Grier cook these casuals.
All
We
right.
were talking about this the other day that with the offensive line, how every year that's you guys are like, oh, we're not good enough, but then offensively we're a pretty good offense the last 2 years, and a number of you guys have talked about how the guys have improved. Those guys on the offensive line have worked their tails off. We feel confident in them. The coaching staff believes in them, and Butch and Mike and Frank have done a great job, and Lem in helping those guys develop.
Yep, Lem
work.
too.
So
Don't forget about Lem.
I think the important thing is they all work together. It's a really cohesive unit, and just watching them work together is great every day. They hang out together, so it's a very close-knit unit. That said, yeah, we'll have someone in the practice squad like we always do.
Yep. Here it
just
comes.
for your information, we released Jack Driscoll.
Boom. We released Jack Driscoll, the guy who a lot of Dolphin fans really liked in the preseason, who made the roster, who, when we went over the 53-man roster, every time I talked about if the Dolphins wanted to add someone different here and what players were on the bottom of the roster that they could cut to add, Jack Driscoll was one of the guys. And lo and behold, Jack Driscoll gets cut.
You heard what he said, though, right? I don't know if you caught what he said when he was talking about the offensive line.
Oh, I did. That they're all close and that they're all together.
No. He slipped something right past your nose, El Cap. I'm disappointed in you because you should have caught it.
Oh, okay. Well,
play it again.
If you play it one more time right before that segment right there.
Okay.
Tails off. We feel confident in them. The coaching staff believes in them, and Butch and Mike and Frank have done a great job, and Lem in help.
Butch, Mike, Frank.
No. Before that, where he addresses the offensive line. Yeah.
Okay.
Now we're talking about this the other day that with the offensive line, how every year that's you guys are like, oh, we're not good enough, but then offensively we're a pretty good offense the last 2 years. And
stop it right there.
The last 2 years.
The last 2 years. He didn't say the offensive line was good. He said the offensively we're good, which means he don't give a shit about the offensive line. He doesn't care. As long as the offense is good, we're good.
Exactly, Ali. Exactly. Exactly. That's why I said you could say what he said and put it into Twitter or put it into Google, and it'll pull up a whole bunch of shit.
Everybody's thinking that he's saying that the offensive line is good. He didn't say that. He said that the offensively, that means it could be the receivers, our quarterback could be damn good. It could be our running backs are damn good. They're perfectly good because they're happy because the offense is producing.
And now
that's why.
And now what's his name is out for at least 4 games.
Yep.
OBJ?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't care because we already know Waddle and them are going to get all the touches anyway, so it didn't really matter to me.
So, real quick,
it does matter. It does matter that we freaking bring a player on and paying him money to freaking, hopefully hopefully he gets healthy. I mean, that's the most important thing.
So he does address that a little bit. He talks about the OBJ stuff in this as well, but he kind of leans that OBJ wants to go, but they're holding him out. I don't know, man. It seems kind of weird. Well, we'll get to it. We'll get to it before we keep going. Mr. Paul, what do you think, Mr. Paul?
No, I heard the same thing about OBJ also, that he wants to play, but they're holding him back. But you got to also remember too, OBJ is also bringing a veteran's presence to our wide receiver room, just like Calais Campbell's doing so with the defense, and Teron Armstead's doing with the offense. So, to me, that's a good thing to do because these guys can help coach up the younger players. So, that's my opinion.
Well, what do you think about the O-line, Mr. Paul? I mean, did Chris Grier flex on these fools and basically say we good?
Flex on nobody.
It didn't sound like that to me, but I mean, here's the thing. If you look at the O-line last year, we had a lot of injuries and we were bringing guys in off the street, and I'm not gonna say Bushbury is a Superman, but Bushbury did a good job plugging and playing some of these
Preach.
players. So
Preach.
we have to see what's going to happen this season.
While I
You know,
agree with you, Mr. Polk, I agree 100% with your sentiment there. There's only one issue that I have with the offensive line is one, I don't know if we have a dependable guard yet until we actually see it in an actual regular season game. But
hmm
also the depth behind the guard is the issue. If you look at our strengths, it's on the outside. It's the right and left tackles. We have no problems with. We already know who the guy behind them is, and they're all dependable. You know what I'm saying? But when it
hmm
comes to the inside, I honestly think we're hoping that these glass ankles are gonna be okay, and that's really the issue. And I'm not saying that we're going to be horrible because I know Eichenberg, when we need him to, can be our center or backup center, no problem. But that means that leaves a gaping hole where Rob Hunt used to be, and we haven't seen what it looks like without Rob Hunt for a whole entire season. We saw it 4 or 5 games last year, but we didn't see it for a whole season, and that's what I'm worried about.
Well, to piggyback on you, Ali, my concern is still the center. It's still the
center,
and it's been to me. Yeah, I'm still concerned about the center position.
Okay, all right,
I mean,
yeah.
because it's been my concern that last year as well, but this year too. I'm not putting down what's his name, Brewer. I'm not putting him down, but I mean, till I see what's going to happen when the season starts, that's still my concern.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, so supposedly Brewer has a gash on his hand,
No, he's got a cast. Is what I
cast on
heard.
his hand. Okay,
Yeah.
are we dealing with another Fuller type of injury where he just stole $10 million?
No, I don't think so. But
I hope
it is
not.
on his snapping hand. What it sounds like to me that it wasn't like a break, that he tore a ligament in his thumb, and that could, who knows how long something like that could take. And then still, once it gets in there, he still has to work through and get snaps with Tua. Same with OBJ. They're going to need to get work. It's just setting the timeline back for guys that, auditions in the offseason that were projected to be day one starters are all going to be on us for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
Let's continue.
And that's
By the way,
go ahead and continue.
By the way,
please.
OBJ is our Fuller at a discounted price.
That's true. $2 million less.
Yeah, and it's just one of those. It's Mike and I we always kind of chuckle. I know you guys made a joke about me saying that you guys are more worried about it than we are, but internally, that's how we feel about our group here as a team. On the defensive side, we've added a guy in the practice squad that we feel really good about. We think he's got a lot of potential and upside, but we feel good about our group again. We think Peely's done a nice job improving every day. Hand has been really good for us. We've been very happy with him from last year coming in and continue working. And then obviously, with Zach and Calais, has been an outstanding addition for us. We've been really, really happy with him. So we feel good about the group. But, obviously, we're always looking for depth. And we tell you this is just a snapshot in time for us. And you guys have known, since you guys have known me and been around me, we've always worked to keep working the roster and making additions. We're not afraid to add something at some point if the opportunity arises.
What are just you guys and Grant DeVos?
Yeah, so he's got size. He's tough. Really good route runner. He's got good hands, and it was the.
Oops.
So Skylar Thompson is being retained, and Mike.
My fault. I done pressed the wrong button. I was trying to press the pause real quick. So a couple of the guys that they talked about that they ended up picking up and putting on the roster before practice guys were on there making some moves. They get rid of Jack Driscoll and they bring in wide receiver Dwayne Estriggs, and he's 2021 draft. He was a very talented guy, been a core special teams guy, primarily a punt returner, right? But a body type that the Dolphins like, speedy, whether or not they can do something with him outside of his punt and kickoff return. We'll see.
Well-
But the guy does have talent, and we do have a young guy on the team who was doing a lot of kickoff and punt returns in Malik Washington, which this kind of tells me that they want to limit his touches doing that, not because he was unsuccessful, but I think because they want to use him in the offense a little bit earlier than they anticipated, right? And I think he's edging his way over Braxton Berrios.
Well, now it's good. Now we have someone to fill in for OBJ.
Well, we had guys, but not really, right? And this dude isn't filling in for OBJ. The slot wide receivers, first of all, we took only 4 wide receivers. We got Hill and Waddle, and then we took Braxton Berrios, which is a slot wide receiver, smaller, shifty guy. He's okay. And then we drafted a guy in Malik Washington with only 4 wide receivers. Most teams carry 6. Last year we had 6. Sometimes teams carry 7 wide receivers if they have it. We decided to only have 4. So we knew they were going to add wide receivers. It's just odd that the first guy that they get is more of a special teams type of guy in punt and kickoff returns, which kind of signals to me that they're elevating Malik Washington higher up into snaps. And I think he's really pushing Braxton Berrios again as being the third guy on the field. If there's 3 wide receivers out there, it's going to be Hill, Waddle, and Malik Washington until OBJ comes. But another guy that they grabbed is Grant DeBose, ex-Packers.
Okay, which
wide
still
receiver.
helps. So which still helps though with Malik doing that instead of punt returns.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you take him. You don't want him to take punt returns if you're going to use him as your third wide receiver all the time. So you have a guy that's doing that instead. But this other dude that they get, he had some action in the preseason. 5 receptions, 66 receiving yards. He did all right.
Eskridge or DeBose you're talking about?
I'm talking about DeBose.
It's
Later,
Tom.
Tom.
Gotta go. See y'all later.
Later.
Okay.
See you later, Tom.
I think it's pronounced Dewab or something like that.
Did Tom
DeBose.
just have a gender reveal party or something?
I know. You seen that? What was that, dude?
Yeah, but somebody from Green Bay said that y'all call him divorced. Said that he's good. He just has a little issue getting out of the scrimmage, but with Wes Welker as our wide receiver coach, he can sort of coach him up on that, along with the OBJ and some other receivers.
Absolutely. So I think this is we'll see what this DeBose guy does, but let's try to find where we left off. This is the longest interview ever.
Yeah, we're only 2 minutes into it.
I know, dude.
We've always worked to keep working the roster and making additions. We're not afraid to add something at some point if the opportunity arises.
Just you guys and Grant DeBose.
Yeah, so he's got size. He's tough. Really good route runner. He's got good hands, and it was the how physical he is in his play. Obviously, Mike knows a lot of people up there in Green Bay with the relationship as well as I do, and they're all very high on him. And said it was a very hard decision for them to move on from him. So it's an opportunity that we were excited for. We're just working for where we are right now.
As you reflect on your journey from an intern to a GM, what has been some of the most challenging aspects of that transition, and how do you?
Who asked this question? Oh, Chris Grier, your journey from intern to GM. Can you touch on that journey? Like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? No one gives a shit about that. Who's this newbie in the fucking media room asking this question?
Play it again so I can hear the voice.
Listen.
Working for where we are right now.
As you reflect on your journey from an intern to a GM, what has been some of the most challenging aspects of that transition, and how do you has your perspective at all changed on team building?
The last bit, your perspective on team building changed. That was a decent question, but
That's
touch
Daniel
on your.
Fouché, by the way.
No, it wasn't. Was it?
Yeah, that's Daniel.
What did he say? Hold on. Who?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I want to say that is. I want to say that is Daniel Fouché.
I love Daniel Fousseyni. Why would he ask that question right now? Who gives a fuck about that?
The thing about Daniel Fousseyni, he speaks with a very soft tone.
He does, I know, but dude, what the hell does that matter right now? We're talking about 53-man roster cuts and shit. Like, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah,
Listen.
Yeah, like, obviously when I started just dating myself, it was, mid 90s going with Coach Parcells, and different time, different era of how he did it. It was at that time, a lot of manual work in terms of like nowadays you can go on PFF, click on a guy and watch him in 15 minutes and know him. Where back then you had to go pull the tape out, find out, fast forward all the way through and go through and search. And so it's been the evolution to where it's got to is cool. And I think even for player safety to where it's gotten to now for the players. But it's a different era back then. Coaches were, I'd say a lot sterner and the rules and how the players were. And we had 3-a-days when I was back in New England with Parcells. You'd go 7 a.m. Then we'd have a 3 o'clock, and then we'd have another one walkthrough at 7 o'clock at night. And then we had staff meetings at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. So we were always going from 7 in the morning until midnight, 1 o'clock. So yeah, it's like anything. Change is good. But it's been a fun road. I've enjoyed it, and I wouldn't change anything about it.
Ugh. I'm like spent after that fucking answer and question, bro. Like my whole vibe is off now. Like all right, let's try to get back on track.
Planning on having Isaiah Wynn play for you guys at some point this year?
Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, he's worked his tail off. He's done a great job of rehabbing. He's here every day working, and but yeah, that's the plan. But we'll see.
There's a report that when Odell Beckham Jr. signed, that you guys knew or suspected he might not be able to start the year because we'll proceed. Is that right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can you say what the injury is?
Yeah, I appreciate the question, but I don't like to talk about people's medical history.
Smart.
I mean, when you signed him, where did you expect him to be ready?
Yeah, we were very hopeful that it would be around week 1 here. And to be honest with you guys, we put him down. He did not want to go down.
Talking about OBJ.
And he is very close. You guys have seen him, glimpses of him running around outside doing stuff. He's very close, but for us, it was the long play. We didn't want him to rush back, feeling that he had to rush back, and then something happened and it sets us back. So this was more Mike and I sitting down, talking with Kyle, the trainers, and we just felt what's best for him long haul to help us here win games is to put him down.
Basically, we don't need OBJ to beat Jacksonville or fucking Buffalo. We'll figure out if we need him for somewhere else. They stashing him right now. That's what it sounds like to me, dog.
Yeah, I agree. And I told you last night, bro, that to be honest, I'm not worried about having OBJ in the beginning half of the season. It's the second half of the season that we really need all these players that are on IR and PUP, to be honest. With what we have and the talent that we have, especially offensively, I think we should be able to get by on the first half. It's the second half that we need them to be healthy, and that's why I was okay with some of these moves that we made. I do think that bringing in another receiver like we did definitely helps. I'm still concerned about guard, but let's see what happens. I mean, to be honest, Butch Berry always proves us wrong, to be honest. So, we'll see what happens.
I wonder if this is like a new tactic. Maybe it's not so new of a tactic, but a tactic in which they're employing as roster manipulation for the stretches of this season, right? Like we knew that they were going to do something like they're doing that for Teron Armstead already. They're load managing that guy. They're not going to put in a game against the freaking Panthers. They're not going to have him go play. They're
so my question is this: if we what's the point of doing the whole thing where we dropped Blake Ferguson then? Because the only thing I can think of, there's another move happening, bro. That's the only thing I can think of on why we did this. And the next question, even if we are bringing him back, because that's been reported, who is getting
it's already
dropped?
done. He's on the practice squad. We're going to go through the practice squad here directly.
Oh, so Blake Ferguson's on the practice squad? That's how we brought him back?
Yeah, we got a bunch of practice squad guys. I'll go through everything here after this.
Okay.
Interview. So let's finish up.
Yeah.
Down for a little bit right now.
Chris, the Dolphins owner Stephen Rose said on a local broadcast during preseason that if healthy, he'd use this as a Super Bowl contender. How does this roster align with Super Bowl contention?
Yeah, each year we're always judged by wins and losses at the end of the day. So, last year people were saying our roster was one of the best in football, and we had injuries and fell short in Kansas City and ended wild card. I think each year is a different year. I think we feel very good about our roster where we are. And again, this is just a moment in time. Like, as you guys remember in March, everyone was worried about salary cap. We can't do anything. And so it's always little pockets of time when you do your roster and stuff, but we feel good about it. Like everyone, health is and luck all contribute to it, and team chemistry. And it's a very close knit team already. It's been exciting to watch these guys all together. So we feel if we're healthy and ready to go that we have a chance to compete, which is what we always want, that chance.
How do you define a successful season for this year? Does it require you to end the 24-year drought?
Yeah, I don't think we shy away from it. Mike's talked about it. Yeah. For us, it's always, again, every team wants to win the Super Bowl, and we're no different. And at the end of the day, one team wins. And to me, if you don't win it, every team is not a successful season. So that's the way I've always looked at it.
We haven't spoken to you since the Tua contract. How relieved were you to get that done? And take us through your perspective of those negotiations.
This is kind of an interesting thing when he talks about the contract, because we haven't heard from him about it yet with Tua.
I think my wife was glad it was done just because all the phone calls and back and forth. And but Tua and his representation were great. Ryan Williams. These things take time. Look at all the deals trying to get done around the league that are happening slowly. But for us, it was just working through to find a place where both sides felt really good, and to that it doesn't affect us where we can't keep building and adding players and doing what we need to do in the future. So we're very excited to get it done. It was a long process, but well worth it, and we're excited for Tua.
Bro, I thought that was a real candid answer by him. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was a pretty candid answer.
Yeah, I think it was.
I
think it was pretty truthful.
As you mentioned Calais earlier, he's a happy guy. He's always motivated. You get a sense that the latter stages of his career, not only does he have a lot left, but he wants to prove it here in his hometown.
Yes, most definitely. He's the guys love him, and as you know him, he's always around. He's so everyone walks around and go, So he's a really good dude. Just watching how he prepares and keeps himself in shape, for his age and what he does. So all the guys are taking note. He's a mentor to people. But even watching him like in the joint practices, like I think you guys saw some of the stuff. He can still play, and it's amazing what he does, and just how physical and strong and tough he is. And so adding him to us, I think will pay big dividends. And I think he is a great measure for all our players to learn for being able to sustain a high level of play for a long time and taking care of everybody and being a true pro.
Conversations with Mulligetta about Javon's contract, and if so, or if not, either way, is it priority by the end of the year to get something done with him?
Yeah, like everything, unless a player's representation tells me to speak publicly, okay, I will. So I'll keep any conversations we've had private, but like with Javon and any other player, there's always a lot of stuff behind the scenes that we're working through, and he's an important player for us, and so we'll just leave it at that for right now.
At the moment, two of the top backup running backs are undrafted rookies. Actually, I don't know if Bonner counts as a rookie still. I have to check. Is Bonner a rookie? Anyway, undrafted Ethan Bonner from Stanford, and Storm Duck from Louisville.
Right.
How ready do you feel these guys are to contribute if needed?
Yeah, no, very confident. Ethan played a little bit for us last year. And the thing we love about him is he's a smart player, he's very competitive, and we've had a number of teams tried to trade for him in the offseason, even last year. And so very excited for his opportunity, and he's taken advantage of it every time he's had. Storm has come in and just worked right from the beginning. And so he's been a pleasant surprise. We thought he had a lot of ability, but you never know till you get here. And he's worked his tail off, and he's earned it. And so I'm very excited for him and his future, and because he's got a great work ethic. So I think the one thing that Arujo and has done a great job developing and working with those guys, and they have a great belief in him and the system from Coach Weaver. So if they have to play, no one will bat an eye, and we'll just back to work. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I tell you, he looks like a truck driver, so you're like sitting there first time. And
Andrew Meyer truck driver shirt coming out on TFTG network soon.
I tell you what, he's got personality. He's tough. He's smart. He loves ball. He's a grinder. And every day he just got better and better. And it got to a point where it's hard that you can see in talking with the coaches and Butch and Mike that we see that there's a lot of potential in his future. So he's, still has a lot of work to do to improve, but this was a player we just felt like we didn't want to lose because he's got something that we'd like to see what it looks like at the end.
Chris, as you self-scouted yourselves this offseason, what did you do and what were the ideas to improve against year 1-6 against playoff teams? Would you say we got to do this and here's where we've improved, and how do we get better at that against those teams?
Yeah. No, it's always something when you go through and try and figure out the whys after the season when you do it. And for us, working through, some of the stuff offensively, like there were some of those games, like just top of my head, Philly, where we had a drop touchdown pass at one point, borderline, pass interference call on one. So we're like that one. And then the Kansas City and Germany, we had a couple miscues at the end where we didn't, function the way we should. And so at the end of the day, looking through it, it's just looking through situations, really spending time on, talking to our players, going through situations, football, basically, and what it is. And that's just my opinion. But also, I think we have the players to win, and I'm very confident in them. So for us, it's just finding that way to get over the hump, like you said. And it's we feel confident in what we're doing, and Mike and the staff have done a great job, and the scouts and working through it. So very excited to see what happens this year.
Is there a feeling that injuries have been the biggest obstacle the previous 2 years, as opposed to not being good against the better teams, or game plan, strategy, philosophy? Is it mostly injuries, do you think?
No, I mean, injuries happen. I don't want to use that as just the excuse. That's that would maybe trying to take the easy way out to just use that. Again, there's 11 players on the field at a time, and it could be one person messing up that cause it, and the other 10 doing their assignment right. So it's just, again, find a way to executing in those moments with everyone on the field the same time. And so Mike and the staff have been working very hard on that. And that's been a focus of us of just, because if we play well consistently and not just halves and stuff, that we feel we can compete with any team in the league.
You had 6 draft picks make the 53, and maybe a 7th if Taj hadn't gotten hurt. How would you evaluate that group so far? And Chop in particular seems like he might need to play a role. How much confidence you have in him early on?
Yeah, no, the group has done a great job coming in. It's a very mature group. They're all very, as you guys have talked to some of them, they're all very focused on ball and really love football. So we're very happy with all of them. From Chop has come in from day one and just has been a sponge, and it's cool. He talks to Armstead about different rushes against different people, and then Chubb spends time with them, and it's just cool. And they're all just like, the kid wants to learn and his work ethic. And so, he's got the talent and everything. He's a tough kid. He loves ball. And so watching all those guys from, Patrick Paul's done a great job for us. He's played a ton of snaps in the preseason, learning a whole new technique of how to block. So very happy with him. Wright's done a good job running the ball for us, and Muhammad and McMorris, all those guys. So we're very happy with the group.
Yeah, all in all, pretty decent looking draft. With also with UDFA Storm Duck all making this team, looking pretty decent of a draft, on the face of it.
That's true. I mean, and minus an injury, we would have had one more wide receiver on this team had
That's
Taj not got injured.
That's right.
So I got some more information on that DeBose receiver that you might want to hear.
Go ahead.
All right, so this is what his draft. Come to find out, this guy was drafted in 2023, just a year ago. So kind of interesting there, right? So DuBose runs precise routes, showing an innate feel for setting up defensive backs to create separation. An elusive and creative runner in space, DuBose has lateral agility. And stop-start ability to make tacklers swing and miss. He shows good hands and coordination as an unearthed catch and run target. He's extremely dangerous in open field, showing the vision and creativity to run through the entire defenses. He has a knack for getting open in the quarterback's best friend. Passers just need to toss the ball in his area, and he'll come down with it. Good quickness off the line. DuBose also has a value as a catch and run threat, running hard and consistently picking up yards after catch. Does not have exceptional straight line speed, but takes advantage of open seams when his quarterback is on target. This sounds like a Tua and McDaniel kind of guy. The main reason what this doesn't say, which I had to do some more digging, and I found this article about him from a Packer website. He is a very adequate and very decent run blocker. And that's something that we know Craycraft has, and that McDaniel loves, guys that will put their body on the line to make the running game go. So I can understand why they picked up this kid based on this information.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
I
Go
like that. Good tidbit, Ali. Let's continue. Oh, and welcome, Crypto. Is he up here still? What's up, Crypto? And I think Color's lurking in the back. I don't know if he's having technical difficulties or if he needs me to bring him up or what's going
The
on.
rumor mill is that Color's on vacation, so maybe that's what's going on.
I seen that. I seen that. Maybe he's still in Denver. He's never coming back. I seen chat blowing up a little bit about Color and where he's at and what's going on.
Yeah, hey, listen, I was at Denver.
Last week.
Shake money. If he doesn't want to come back.
Yeah, I heard Color. I heard Color is a Bo Nix fan.
I also heard that he didn't hang out with Devontae Parker.
Pretty good.
You heard he hang out with who?
Devontae Parker.
Oh, what?
Oh, wow.
Damn.
Wow. I hate you, Mr.
Crypto.
All right, let's get through this interview that seems to be the longest interview of all time.
Group, because at the end of the day, they all love football and it's important to them. They have talent, so we'll see how it plays out, but very excited for them.
You mentioned the feedback from the Packers with DuBose. Is that a common practice in waiver wire claims, is getting that feedback from teams that let a guy go?
Yeah, I mean, you're always reaching out to different people, because you just want to make sure that they don't have to tell you what kind of player you're getting. It's just the person, really, because when you're adding someone into a building, you just want to be careful who you're adding into it. So so you always talk to people, and because I mean, obviously if they let them go, you'll try and find out why here and there, but you watch the film at the end of the day that makes the ultimate decision whether you can put in a claim on someone.
Do you have a practice squad quarterback lined up?
Yes, we do. Tim Boyle.
What did
Dun dun dun.
Mike liked him. Mike and Bev spent a lot of time here the last couple of days watching a lot of the quarterbacks, and he caught their eye. Obviously, he was in Houston, a little similar scheme, and obviously with the Jets, we saw him before, and so he's got some background in our offense. But just watching him, Mike felt and Bev felt really good about adding him here on the practice squad for a skill set and what he can do. So he's a veteran guy that's been around, but has a good reputation as a good locker room guy, smart. So yeah, so we're excited to add him.
Any concerns over state secrets that Mike White can
I said, yeah, you know, I used to be that way, but so many players go back and forth between, you know, I'm sure Buffalo's not losing too much sleep about Poyer being here, you know, so it's just one of those, it happens, you know, the ones I always laugh at are week one. You know, like when week one teams play each other and they start claiming guys from each other's team. I think that's funny. But
I've seen some tweets where agents are telling reporters that they're adding players to the practice squad with a promise to elevate them for week one. Is this a kind of a new thing you're hearing this year, or did this come up last year too?
Yeah, yeah. To me, I think it's hard to promise someone to come up, not especially if you've never worked with a person and seen them. So I would never want to put our players that may have earned a spot to play just to trick someone. And I'm saying that team or person's doing it, but that's, you know, it's just not something I would believe in doing. But yeah, that's you do hear it every once in a while, but that's just not the practice that we believe in.
A question about your interior offensive line theory, philosophy. I think Robert Jones and Lester Cotton are the only true guards that your centers have been converted guards, right? With Connor Williams and Aaron Brewer. Mm-hmm. Your guards are converted tackles, with the exception, you know, Hunt and Liam. What is the thinking there that you know, you'd rather focus on the tackles or I know that Aaron Brewer is, you know, a quality player and he's out with an injury, but there haven't been any high profile free agent signings or trades or draft picks the last couple of years. What is the thinking on the interior offensive line?
Chris Perk with the question.
So, you know, and Patrick was a guy. So for that, tackles are always of value. But the guys that have the ability like Robert and Liam to go inside and play, position flexibility always because for your roster and spots. And so, you know, with those guys is you look for guys that are tough and competitive. They have to be smart, obviously. But in this scheme, as you guys have seen, you know, athletes are what, you know, kind of the priority. So you want guys.
I just want to point out athletes are kind of the priority. In the Miami Dolphins' view, an athlete in Liam Eichenberg. And all of you guys that are out there on these streets hating on Liam Eichenberg, your team disagrees with you. And it's not just Chris Grier. You could say, oh, fuck Chris. It's Mike McDaniel. It's Frank Smith. It's Avery. It's all of them.
Guys who are athletic, of twitch, and can come off the ball. And so I think the way Butch teaches, and I think what all our players appreciate, and all the players who have been here and left that you got to talk to, they love the teaching style of how Butch and Lim work with them. Yeah, just philosophy-wise, guard, tackles that can play guard as well are always of value, but then centers are very important, you know, like with Meyer. Those guys that, you know, you'd like guy that's not a one-hole player, but at the end of the day, the ability to communicate, see what's going on, get everyone calmed down, lined up, and the quarterback trust is a huge thing.
That's pretty much it. I'm cutting it off because it kind of goes nowhere after that. But yeah, Chris Grier laying the smackdown. Crypto. What say you now, Crypto? Huh? Got
That's
nothing
right.
to say.
No.
Got nothing to say now, right, Crypto? Dolphins offensive line is good.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm gonna say for now. I'm gonna say I defer to Tua. I'm deferring to Tua. I yield back my time to Tua. He said the offensive line is perfect. He doesn't need a line. He gets rid of the ball quick.
It's funny you should mention that because I have that article here that I was going to read, where a little bit about it. And
sounds like Tua is in on the collusion.
Mm-hmm.
He said, they're all in. Chris Grier, Tua, hell, even Stephen Ross might be in on it.
Tua was asked a question about his confidence in the offensive line, and quote, "Well, brother, I get the ball out fast. I'm confident in whoever we've got there."
Yep,
You know
that
why?
would include Jesse Davis as well as freaking
No, we don't have
Jeter.
Jesse Davis on the team. He knows these guys. And you know who he's got confidence in?
I'm sure he would have made the same statement if Jesse Davis was in front of him.
You know who he's got
I'm
confidence in?
confident.
You know who he's got confidence in?
Who's that?
He's got confidence in Liam Eichenberg, bud. That's his guy. That's his guy.
Yep.
Liam Eichenberg is his dude.
We have an Eichenberg.
Yep,
ladies and
he's
gentlemen.
showing. Yep, we
You
got
said
an
it all
Eichenberg.
year
You
last
said
year,
it.
Shake. We've got an Eichenberg.
Yep. He's the anchor to that offense. He's the best swing lineman
Best
in
interior
NFL history.
lineman in NFL history. I love it.
Mhm.
So, Ali, I'm going to read off the practice squad, guys. Are you
Okay.
ready?
Yeah, go for it, man. I got one of the guys you're gonna read off. I got info on him, so go ahead.
Devontae Parker.
Alrighty. No, he didn't make the cut, Shake. I know.
Yeah.
I
So
heard Devontae Parker is gonna go be Bridgewater's offensive coordinator for his high school team.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a good line of work for him.
So, practice squad additions made to the Miami Dolphins. A lot of guys that first of all, none of the guys we cut got picked up off waivers, which isn't surprising, right? And we didn't bring everybody back. We decided to go in the other direction in some positions. Here's how it is as follows. We brought back linebacker Daquan Jackson, the guy from Jacksonville, linebacker.
Yeah.
We were able to bring back Eric Ikuzama. They also got Jordan Colbert back. They got Jonathan Harris back, the defensive tackle. We got Hayden Rucci back, which was a high priority for Dolphins fans. He's becoming quickly a fan favorite. And already a fan favorite, which I think across Dolphins land, we were upset to see this guy cut and worried that he wasn't going to be there, and are as grateful that he's back, is Nick Needham, which, I mean, what a gamble they took on Nick Needham, and him to clear waivers is awesome. Finally,
Scummy
we
wants
added,
to know if we cut Tua yet.
I have a different take on Nick Needham. You guys are not gonna like it.
well, here, I bet you do. I bet you I got it. And
Come to
here's some
practice
new
squad,
additions
Scummy.
that they added to the practice squad via the waiver wire and signing. Daquan Estridge, as we said. We already talked about the other guy that's on the 53. He's not on the Packers guy's on the 53. He's not on the practice squad. But quarterback Tim Boyle, which whatever.
I don't understand that, bro.
Listen, he's the perfect practice squad third guy. No team.
Is it though? The practice squad guy is a guy you kind of want to develop. This guy's like 30. He's already another shitty Jet quarterback, bro. I would have rather paid a 6th-round draft pick, like whoever it was that gave it to the Falcons for Hinckley, whatever his name is.
No. They have a quarterback they want to develop in Skylar Thompson. And the guy that is the practice squad quarterback, who's wasting time. First of all, you ain't developing shit during the season for the most part. You're busy getting him up to speed on what you need. You know what this guy is? He's a dude that keeps everybody warm. That's it. He's the guy that
I would
keeps
have
the
rather
second
they
team
kept
warm.
that kid that had that arm that everybody was talking about, that undrafted guy that we ended up cutting really early. I would have rather kept him at this point. I'm sorry, I'm not a believer in Tim Boyle at all. I think he's a waste of space.
Well, I think you guys are looking at it the wrong way. Tim Boyle adds zero value to this team in a capital sense. There's going to be no need. He's not going to be a guy you want to go anywhere with or do anything with. And if you're starting him in a football game, you're in rough shape anyhow. So all he is a dude that they want to learn timing routes and work on the detail work with the wide receivers and the running backs, because that's all he's good for. And that's all we need at this moment.
You're
'Cause guess
saying
what?
saying they're not going to use him whatsoever except for teaching these guys the route timing and shit is what you're talking about.
Pretty much that's all his job title is right now. He's not going to address. Okay. And then guess what? Being a guy that he is, and they're going to do all this stuff and have him work with guys and yada, 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 and get him up to speed. When they cut him and put someone else on the practice squad and then pick him back up 2 weeks later, he's still sitting there waiting. So you don't have to start the process all over again. See what I'm saying? So that's the value that you're getting out of a guy like that. That's where you have something. So he's nothing. He's just that guy that does those things. And then the final dude, defensive tackle Naquan Jones, which I don't know anything about. I don't know who he is. I don't know anything about the guy.
Oh, never heard of him.
Well, the wide receiver that we got, Eskridge, I got some stuff to talk about him.
Let's hear it.
All right. So he's a Western Michigan receiver. What I found out about him was some very interesting things. First of all, Eskridge is a solid route runner whose routes show good precision and timing throughout. Eskridge was a two-way player at Western Michigan, lining up both at corner and receiver. So that's very interesting right there. He puts that experience to use in his route running, finding soft spots in zone coverage or weakness in a man coverage. Eskridge shows great ball skills at the catch point, naturally locating, tracking, and extending and catching the ball in the air. He also shows very good body control to make difficult controlling catches seem routine. Let's see here. It also says Eskridge is a dynamic after the catch player. He is a dangerous kick returner and uses those same instincts as a ball carrier. He shows good vision, contact balance, creativity, and explosive athleticism when picking up yards after the catch. Get another yak guy. The main thing about him, guess what his 40 time is? He is a 4.3 kind of guy.
They love those dudes, bro.
They love those dudes. That is correct.
And with a quarterback like Tua that can throw it in a basket, that's why they value these types of guys.
The other thing that I found, because he is a two-way kind of player, at least he was in college, they could use that as a special teams ace kind of thing, if you know what I mean.
Well, we've got our special teams ace, but he's obviously a guy that is playing on special teams, whether he's
I know, but if he goes injured, you got the backup already in house, is what I'm saying.
What I'm looking at is the skill set and usage for what we're getting out of this guy that you're talking about is eerily similar to what I figured we were going to get out of Taj Washington. And because he's injured, the Dolphins then replace him. So this type of receiver and weapon was always in the cards for this offense and what they want to do.
Here's the other skill set he has. I forgot to mention this. He has surprising play strength for a player of his size, along with great competitive toughness in his blocking. So he's a willing blocker. That's something McDaniel loves as well. So it goes along with that whole thing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the dude from the Packers I'm interested in. That's the guy I've got interest in.
Yeah,
he's only what's interesting about him is he's all around great. His speed doesn't match up with the other guys. He's a 4.5 kind of guy. I mean, that's not too much slower. Good. But he's a big
bigger
guy.
dude. He's a
Yes,
big
that's
dude.
true.
And I
Yeah.
look at that big body type and who the Dolphins didn't put on the roster in Eric Ikuzama.
Yeah.
And hopefully he's not a Devontae Parker.
That's right, Mr.
Yeah,
Paul.
but you know what's funny?
That's right.
The receiver that we drafted, I looked him up. He's 6'2", 200 pounds. So he's kind of like that body type that Izukama has.
Yeah, he does. That again, obviously something the Dolphins want to utilize in their offense, and they're still addressing it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, didn't we have a guy a few years back that was a defensive back / wide receiver?
Wasn't it Aiken? He ended up playing safety or something like that.
Was it him? Because he played this guy I'm talking about. In college, he played wide receiver and defensive back.
Yeah, that's what Eskridge did. I want to say it's Aiken that did that.
Okay, that's who it was.
He was a decent prospect. Whatever happened to him? Did we trade him away or something, or we released him, or?
I think we cut him.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Couldn't tell you.
Plus, he came out of small. He came out of a small school also when we drafted him. When we got him, I mean.
Trying to see if I could find anything else.
You want to know who that Eskridge kid's what the player comparison was? You won't believe it, because if this is true, then I'm okay with it. They say that his player comparison is T.Y. Hilton. I'd take it if that's the case. I love it. If he can play anything similar to that, I think we're okay. He'd definitely be my number 3 for sure.
I mean, look, the guy's not even going to be on the game day roster. Let's be for real. But we see that they're putting guys in position to where if they're banged up at the wide receiver and they're downhill and they're elevating the snaps between what Hill was getting to Malik Washington, Tyreek Hill, and now they're utilizing someone else as a third wide receiver. They might elevate a guy like that. I think this team already could do without any of that, just on, Jonnu Smith, friggin' Tanner Connor, who they're obviously going to utilize, putting him on the 53, Julian Hill, all the tight ends, then the running backs, Devon Achane out of the friggin', spread out wide as a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Again, all this stuff makes sense what they're doing, because you can see where the body type and the weaponry and how you can envision they're going to use it in this offense. But dude, they could come out and in week 1 show something like they did last year in week 1, just a completely different looking offense, firing with this pre-snap motion, all this quick movement, spreading defenses out, getting them to show their hand pre-snap, whether they were in man and or zone, and forcing them into coverages to open up these windows underneath, and just moving so quickly that by the time you get caught out of position playing underneath, you didn't realize we've now schemed something up to go over top of you, and it caught teams sleeping a little bit. I also think we have a multiplicity to. I think that part of what we did well last year on the offense, Tua, Tyreek, Waddle, and Mike McDaniel's play calling in this team can do that. I don't want to say at will, but that's their fucking specialty, right? That's what they got. To me, them utilizing it with other skill set players is the next evolution, and how that looks schematically with Mike McDaniel's sprinkle dust on there. That's what I'm looking to see. And that's got to be the next step, because you can't roll back the same shit again. It's just not going to work. I mean, it'll work, but it ain't going to get to you where you want to go.
Cap, I got a question for you.
What's up?
Do you think that with found Jalen Wright that we would use him, but not as much until maybe mid-season?
No, I gotta imagine Jalen Wright is going to be a game day roster pretty much every week. Whether he'll get utilized or not, that'll be probably slow rolled in there. But dude, he's a big boy. They got to look at that the fresh legs, young guy. They're going to want the veteran in later in the year. Let's at some point, doesn't have to be week 1, right? And probably not going to be. But at some point earlier in the front half of the season, get this kid worked in to where Raheem Mostert's not needing to take those in between the tackle run, breaking through linebackers and stuff like that. And we can utilize Raheem Mostert more in the flats and outside zone stuff where we can use his speed and do what Jalen Wright looks like he's going to be good at. Yes, he's got speed and he's able to get to the second level from the middle a lot, but he's a young guy. You let the young guy who's big take a little bit of the beatings and stuff like that. And I think it's going to open up positions where you're going to see Jalen Wright as the solo back in the backfield, and Devon Achan's going to be all the way spread out wide as a wide receiver with Tyreek Hill on the other side, and then Waddle's in between in one of the slot positions, and then we've got a tight end in Jonnu Smith. They could really get dynamic with their combinations of talent and what they're going to utilize. And I mean, it's a pretty good looking football team, everybody.
It's kind of nightmarish to the other teams.
Miami kid says his record prediction is 9-8. It will beat bum teams. I have us going 11.
No,
I have us
that's
going
the
11.
doom and gloom scenario right there. That means everybody's getting fired in that scenario.
I have us going 11 because of how I lined it up. Now, I could be wrong. There could be a game we sneak out to get us to 12. But I have this eerie feeling that if we roll in with 11 wins into the final week of the season against the Jets, needing to win that game to be number 1 in the AFC, or lose the game and we'd be like 3rd in the AFC and they get in the playoffs. You see what I'm saying? Like, I have this scenario with all this stuff going on because the Jets have just been, I hate it. I'm just playing fucking conspiratorial devil's advocate here, but every year it seems to be right anyhow. But I don't know, man. I think the team looks good. We're probably going to see some more movement. Obviously, we're definitely going to see movement from here on out, but it seems like the initial 53 minus Jack Driscoll, who didn't get back on the practice squad. Riddle me this. But he'll probably end up back on the practice squad. But anyhow, it doesn't matter. When you waive a guy, I think they have to sit X amount of time on the waiver wire to see if someone else wants to grab him before you can put him back on your practice squad. There's going to be additions, subtractions. Things going to be moving. We're going to recycle the bottom of this thing. Don't get too excited about someone on the practice squad and then not be, because things are going to change. But all in all, your Miami Dolphins for 2024 is the 53-man roster minus the guys that are on PUP and on IR, who are all contributors and will come back to the Miami Dolphins at some point in the season and have an impact on this football team, while also the Dolphins having 1 or 2 dudes stashed on their practice squad that you're probably going to see at some point again as well. So other than that, man, I ain't got nothing, you guys. Any final thoughts, everybody?
Man, catch us. Just catch me on Drive Time this Friday, and of course, I'm gonna be live with my main man Crypto this Saturday.
Yeah.
Insomnia,
got that Insomnia, and you guys can find Insomnia on Apple Music, on all the good stuff. And listen, they're newer podcasts, so they're a little harder to find. Best way you guys can go to find the podcasts that are going to be on all of all the different shows, because you can't just go to the Finn's Tailgate podcast and find Insomnia. You're gonna have to go to the Insomnia podcast on Apple Music, on Spotify, or whatever, and so on and so forth as the other shows start getting uploaded into the podcast world. Best way to find them all is to go to tftgnetwork.com, and there's links and ways in which that can direct
Apple
you
or
to
Spotify.
Yep, that'll take you. Or you go, say you're looking for Insomnia, and you're not looking for TFTG, you're looking for Insomnia. You go there, you click on Insomnia, and what do you want to use? You want to look on Spotify, or you want to go to Apple Music? So there's going to be ways to direct everything. So tftgnetwork.com is going to be the way to find it. So,
right,
as well as other stuff that will continue to add and grow the website, because things change off and on, and we're adding stuff all the time. So, I mean, dude, we got a freaking TikTok, you know what I'm saying? Like, all that stuff, links to all these things, the Patreon, all that stuff is at TFTG Network. We're spread across a couple different media outlets doing a bunch of different things with a bunch of different shows. So if you wanted to find a way to navigate it easily, tftgnetwork.com is going to have links and directories to all that stuff.
And by the way, I just put I have an iPhone for work. I went into the podcast, Apple Pod, whatever.
Yep.
I put in Insomnia. It's like just scroll all the way down. You see you'll see the logo.
There you
Insomnia Show TFTG.
Yep, there it is. Yep. So it's out there.
Nightmare on Dan Marino Boulevard.
That's right.
Yeah.
By the way, HB did a good job of turning Dan Marino into Freddy Krueger.
I know. I saw that. It was funny. I was in that. That was funny. So, what about you, Ali? Anything coming up?
Well, let's see. Not this weekend, but next weekend, the Saturday before Sunday, I'm going to have a Saturday Night Lights Club Exhale show. We're going to kick it off on the season. And hopefully the plan is every Saturday before the game, we will have a Saturday Night Light show, and I hope everyone to be there. We're going to be having music. We'll have games. We'll shoot the shit, just celebrate the season and everything. We'll talk about stuff. And then
maybe do some donation shots like we did last year. I love donation shot Saturdays, dude.
Yeah, as long as you're there to do them with me. But on home games, just so you know, games, one, I'm going to be shutting it down earlier. We'll probably go from like 8 to 11 only, because I got to be up super damn early to go to the game, obviously. So,
also, yeah, this Saturday, 3:30, Gators versus Canes. I will have my gin and juice on hand.
So you're calling that game, Shake?
Yes, sir.
Okay, listen, I need you to call that game, because I'm going to be at my son's game coaching, but I'm going to sneak a headphone in to listen to that game, because I gotta know what's going on between the Gators and the Canes, because there's a lot of smack talk for a long time riding on the line on here for both teams.
Dude, freaking El Cap is going to be at his son's game coaching, right? And then he's going to, in between the game, he's going to be like, yeah, first down. And the coach is going to look at him, bro, it's only third down. What the hell are you talking about?
Well, listen.
Why are you celebrating? They scored on us.
Our team is really good. So I like the game might start at 4, or it might start at 2. It all depends.
Yeah.
If it starts at 2 and the kickoff's 3:35?
Yeah.
Something like that. The game could be in hand come kickoff, in which case I would listen to it a little bit, because the football team my son's on right now, they're at least in their division around here, they're really good. And if they remain to be disciplined, they're going to go really far. They're a damn good football team. But like our first game we had last week, we beat them 40-0, and we got a lot of the kids in, and didn't lean on absolutely obliterating them like we could have if we wanted to. Like we could have. We didn't finish the game. 40 points, they mercy ruled them. There was like 3 minutes left in the game, and it was over. So,
yep.
And we throttled them pretty much the entire second half, other than one series. So,
Shake, if I can, I try to jump on there with you.
You what?
No, I was telling Shake, just like last year, I try to jump on there with him when he does.
Come through, Mr. Paul. Come through.
Hey, El Cap,
Yeah.
after this show, I need to talk to you backstage for a moment.
All right, sounds good. Crypto, you got some Mondays coming up here soon. So I'll be excited about that shit. Getting things back on there. We'll talk more on that. And something else I'll talk to you backstage about that, Crypto. But something else Crypto's got kind of cooking on the back burner that might be exciting. So everybody, again, TFTGnetwork.com, check it out. Come through, hit the like, subscribe, share, all the good stuff. As you guys know, season's in full swing, and TFTG is getting ready to, do the damn thing. Leave a comment at the end of the video.
Plus,
who's that?
I'm back, baby.
Oh, shit, that's Color.
Oh.
Color creeping
Back
in
in the
here in the
frame.
backside, boys. Watch out now. Color gonna be in this bitch.
So yeah,
Color's got a
I
lot
am
of catching up to
ready
do.
for this season, man. I am gonna at some point tomorrow morning or Friday morning. I can't. It depends on how my schedule works out. I will be having a show. I will be telling you all how I've been, and I will also be talking about everything that's been going on for the past 3 or 4 weeks that I have not made one comment on. And I can't go away for a month without the entire team falling apart. So I've got a lot to say, and I'll be doing that either tomorrow morning or Friday morning in the same time slot that you can expect me almost every morning during the season to be our landing spot.
Coffee and a cup of color.
Game
Come
talk
on, like last year.
Monday mornings, Tuesday mornings, Wednesday mornings, whatever mornings I can do it. But we'll be filling that void that's been missing for a long time. We'll have a platform for y'all to speak every day.
EM ain't
every
popped
day.
a damn near nothing. Color's up here 2 seconds, and here comes his #1 fan right there.
I'm telling you. I couldn't help it. I saw CB83 begging for me earlier in chat. I held out. I couldn't help it. So yeah.
Batman's been begging for you in the spaces, bro.
Oh, wait a second. This man said CB83 begging for me.
Oh, it's on record.
I did. I seen it.
Listen.
I seen it, bro. I did see him talking. Yo,
And boy,
dude,
do I
saying
ever
this
have a lot
man
to say.
is begging for me is fucking wild.
EM's calling you trash, El Cap.
Listen, EM is trash. M. Dolphin needs to figure his own shit out. He knows he's hot garbage right now.
Oh, Miss Fins, I see you down there. How's it going, Miss Fins?
Man, that was so fucking funny, dude.
I will be giving my opinion on everything. Flores, y'all been really hard on. Man, I can't believe y'all with Flores, man.
Oh shit! Damn, Color, you didn't even get in on the Flores stuff. What?
I need a crypto, man. I know. I heard him swinging. I heard him. He was doing all he could. But everybody just rolled over him.
All right. Well, we're closing this down. People,
the effort
sure
was futile.
Crypto land. Yeah, their effort is always futile against crypto. Turn the notification bell on. Tons and tons and tons of shows coming up, filling up the docket. We'll see you guys next time. Hit the like button. Fins
Peace
out.
out.